Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you went in there? Or maybe you've struggled to recall a familiar name, even though it's right on the tip of your tongue? If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Memory slips happen to all of us, but after 70, they can feel a bit more frequent and a lot more frustrating. Here's the good news. Your brain is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it stays. And just like you might walk or stretch to keep your body flexible and strong, your mind needs its own kind of exercise too. But don't worry, this doesn't mean doing math problems or memorizing lists of capitals. In fact, keeping your mind sharp can actually be fun. Really fun. In today's video, we're diving into 5 memory-boosting games that science has shown to help keep your brain young, active, and alert, no matter your age. These aren't complicated, expensive, or hard to learn. They're simple games you can start playing right now, some even with friends or grandkids. And best of all, they can become your new favorite daily brain workout. So stick with me until the end. We're going to explore games that spark your memory, challenge your attention, and make you smile in the process. Ready? Let's begin with the first one. Picture this. It's a quiet morning, you've got a cup of tea, and you pull out a deck of cards. Not to play poker or blackjack, but to play a classic game of memory. Yes, the same one you may have played with your kids or grandkids. This game is more than just flipping cards and finding matches. It's a gentle but powerful workout for your brain's short-term memory. As you flip over cards and try to remember where each picture is hiding, your brain starts firing up connections. You're training yourself to focus, recall patterns, and stay mentally present. And if you play regularly, just 10 or 15 minutes a day, you may start to notice something surprising. Remembering where you left your glasses or what you needed from the kitchen gets easier. Even better, this game can be played solo or with company. In fact, playing with grandkids can turn it into a bonding moment. You get the brain benefits, and they get quality time with you. And trust me, they love the competition. Now let's move to something a bit more social, something that stood the test of time for good reason. Ever played word association? It might seem simple, but this little game is a powerhouse for building mental connections and jogging memory. You start with a word, say, apple. The next person has to say a word that relates to it, like tree. Then the next person says leaves, and so on. It sounds easy at first, but the longer you go, the more your brain has to work to make connections. What's brilliant about this game is that it taps into your stored memories. Suddenly, you're remembering smells from your grandmother's kitchen or the old apple orchard from your childhood. Your brain lights up with associations, language, and even emotion. Playing this game with others makes it even better. It becomes lively, full of laughter, and you're exercising your social brain at the same time. But you can also play it alone, speaking the chain of words out loud or writing them in a notebook. The effect is the same. Your brain stays active, nimble, and full of life. Let's keep going, because we're just getting started. Imagine this. You're sitting comfortably, maybe with your favorite music in the background, and in front of you is a crossword puzzle. It could be from a newspaper, a book, or even on a tablet. You lean forward, pen in hand, and slowly start filling in those little white boxes. Not because you're trying to beat a record, but because your brain loves the challenge. Crossword puzzles are more than a pastime. They're mental gymnastics. Every time you try to remember a 5-letter word for morning moisture or a synonym for happy, you're exercising language areas of your brain, stretching your vocabulary, and sharpening recall. And unlike other games that might focus on short-term memory, crosswords pull from your deeper well of knowledge, the things you've read, heard, and learned over the years. The beauty of this game is that it grows with you. If a puzzle feels too easy, try a harder one. If you get stuck, take a break and come back later. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. And every clue you solve gives your brain a little boost of dopamine, that feel-good chemical that helps improve memory and motivation. And you don't have to do it alone. Solving crosswords with a friend or family member can turn into a joyful routine, filled with light debate, teamwork, and a shared sense of accomplishment. That's not just good for the brain, it's good for the soul. Now let's switch gears just a little, because this next game is full of surprises, energy, and fun. Have you ever tried Simon Says, or a modern version of it, like the game Brain HQ or Lumosity? These games focus on reaction, attention, and memory all at once. They're like a dance for your brain, and your fingers if you're using a tablet or smartphone. Let's take the classic memory sequence game as an example. You're shown a pattern of colors or sounds, and you have to repeat them back in the right order. Then the sequence gets longer and longer, and just when you think you've nailed it, it changes again. What's happening here isn't just entertainment. It's your brain forming new neural connections, strengthening working memory, and improving your ability to stay focused. These types of games are backed by neuroscience. They've been shown to enhance brain plasticity. That's your brain's ability to adapt and reorganize itself, even later in life. That means playing for just 10 minutes a day can help improve your multitasking ability, attention span, and even how quickly you process information. Plus, they're fun. Really fun. And if you're the competitive type, many of these apps let you track your progress or challenge others. But even if competition isn't your thing, just doing a little each day gives you a reason to smile, knowing you're taking care of your mind in a modern, interactive way. We're almost there, but before we move on, let's take a moment to reflect. Isn't it amazing how something as simple as a game can become a tool for strength? We often think staying mentally sharp has to be hard or boring. But what we're discovering here is the opposite. It can be joyful. It can connect us with others. And it can remind us that age is just a number. Our minds can keep growing, keep dancing, and keep exploring, no matter how many candles are on our birthday cake. Let's keep the momentum going. There's something deeply comforting about the feel of cards in your hands. The soft shuffle, the slight click as they stack together, familiar and almost meditative. And when those cards are part of a game like bridge, rummy, or even the classic concentration memory game, you're doing far more than passing time. You're training your brain in powerful ways. Let's take concentration as an example. You lay out a deck of cards face down. Then, you flip over 2 at a time, trying to find matching pairs. Simple, yes. But simple doesn't mean easy. This game demands focus, short-term memory, and a sharp eye for detail. It's like mental yoga. You stretch, you reach, you return again and again. And every time you remember where a card was, or recall a pattern you noticed earlier, you're actively strengthening your memory muscle. Now, imagine taking that up a notch. Card games like bridge or rummy layer in more complexity. They challenge you to remember which cards have been played, anticipate moves, and strategize based on limited information. It's teamwork, logic, and memory all rolled into one. And it's social too, which brings us to a little-known secret about brain health. Connecting with others is one of the best things you can do to stay sharp. When we engage with people, laugh, talk, cooperate, compete, we activate parts of the brain that don't get much use when we're alone. We learn faster, remember more, and even feel more motivated. So whether you're playing a quiet game with your partner or joining a local card group, you're doing more than having fun. You're giving your brain the kind of workout it truly loves. And here's something worth remembering. None of these games are about being perfect. You don't need to be a genius or even win every time. What matters most is that you show up, that you try, that you give your brain the fuel it needs to stay lively and strong. Because here's the truth. Memory isn't just about remembering names, appointments, or where you put your keys. Memory is how we hold onto our stories, our loved ones, our lessons. It's how we pass down wisdom, how we keep laughter alive, how we stay ourselves. So when you choose to play a game, even for just 10 minutes a day, you're choosing to care for your mind. You're saying, my memories matter. My brain matters. I matter. And isn't that a beautiful thing? So here's to every crossword puzzle, every flash of color on a screen, every deck of cards laid out on the table. Here's to fun that keeps us sharp, to laughter that strengthens memory, to connection that sparks growth. You don't have to be young to be brilliant. You just have to stay curious, stay playful, and most of all, stay in the game. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. If any of these games brought back memories or gave you ideas, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. And don't forget, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let us know what kind of tips and topics you'd love to see next. Stay sharp, stay smiling, and don't forget, your best days can still be ahead. Enjoyed this video? Give us a like, subscribe, and drop a comment. Tell us what you'd love to see next.